Intermediate plyometric exercises. Split squat jumps.
For these exercises, place the weight of the front foot on the ball of the lead leg. The extended back leg has the weight on the toes. The front leg is positioned in front of the body at a 90-degree flexion at the hip. The rear leg is extended back from the hip so it will project straight back. The hips are a pivotal center line between the forward front leg and the extended back leg. The torso is held erect directly over the hips, maintaining the flat back position. The arms are positioned in the double arm technique with both arms pulled back. When the lift-off with the leg occurs, both arms are driven upward. The athlete should take 2 slight 4 to 6 inch bounces, then explode directly upwards, lifting off with both legs simultaneously, leading with the arms. Then land back in the split position and repeat.
Split squat jumps with cycling.
The feet and legs use the same action as the split squat jump, with the exception of reversing the feet and legs on each repetition. The hips and torso also use the same movement as the split squat jump. The arms also use a similar movement, except you must use short blocking rotation action to quickly regain the starting position for the next explosive jump. Use the same action as before, starting the same, but eliminate the bounce after the first jump. The legs should cycle with each jump.
Single leg hops.
Always start with a step to load the hop leg. Work off the hop leg with the cutting of the foot. For a ball of the foot to strike the surface, keep the back leg ankle flexed. Land on the jumping leg with a 5 to 6 inch flexion at the knee. Keep the back leg flexed about 45 to 50 degrees. Come forward, leading with a flexed knee and ankle. Drive past the jump leg, then extend the jump leg completely, landing with both legs together and flexed. The hips should be locked back with the trail leg being extended behind the body. When the trail leg comes forward, the hips are forced out past the takeoff foot by 8 to 10 inches. The jump will be out and upwards. Your body should have a slight forward lean 3 to 5 inches from the center line. The back is held very flat. Use the same double arm rotation action, except allow the arms to bring the hands to shoulder level. Remember to change the lead leg and repeat.
Double leg hops over cone or hurdle.
Start this exercise between 2 to 3 feet away from the barrier. The technique is the same as the standing long jump, with the following emphasis. Step in, landing on the balls of the feet at the same time. Flex both knees 6 to 10 inches, allowing the hips and torso to move past the hips 8 to 12 inches. Then explode your arm upward and forward to each full extension. Remember to work the hips forward past ankles before exploding. Allow the upper body to gain 3 to 4 inches past the hips before jumping. Use the double arm action, but allow the arms an upward extension, hands stopping at the shoulder level. The key for clearance of the barrier is after extending the legs, quickly pull the knees to the chest, keeping the ankles flexed for landing.
Lateral bounding.
For this exercise, work down a straddled marked line, working on both sides with 3 to 5 foot lateral movement. Work off the ball of the foot, pushing off the inside of the ankles. With the legs, use a very slight flexion of 1 to 2 inches at the knee. This flexion is used primarily to avoid injury to the knee. The hips are always slightly past the ankles on each push off the lateral movement. You also need a very slight lean to maintain a forward movement when pushing off. Use the alternate arm action, extending the arm opposite to the drive leg. After this, work 4 or more lateral pushes.
Mogul skier.
For the mogul skier, the action is the same as double leg hops, except working lateral in a zigzag pattern. Work on the balls of both feet, extending them at the same time. Flex the knees 5 to 6 inches before each jump. Allow the hips and torso to pass the ankles by 10 to 14 inches before push-off on the outside of the lead leg in the direction of the lateral movement and the inside of the trail leg. Work the hips forward and lead laterally in the direction of the jump. The torso should be 2 to 3 inches forward of the hips while still maintaining a flat back. Use the double rotation arm action, leading with the arm in the direction of the lateral movement. Allow the other arm to cross the body midline, then pull the back arm, locking behind the hips before the next jump.
Leaps.
Start this action by working out the balls of each foot with the cutting action. Use about 6 to 8 inch flexion of the power leg, then the maximum extension of the leg and calf after the hips and torso are about 12 to 16 inches past the takeoff foot. Land on the lead leg, which is flexed, and prepare for the next jump. The lead leg must have a 90-degree flexion at the knee with the ankle flexed before landing and before beginning the next jump. The hips are forced past the power ankle by the arms. Maintain the flat back with a 2 to 3 inch forward lean. The torso and hips should be 12 to 16 inches past the power ankle before the jump occurs. Use the power alternative arm action. Opposite arm, power leg, driving the arm backward, extending the long arm past the hips by 18 to 24 inches. The lead arm is driven forward, not higher than chest level.
Lateral single leg hops.
The action is the same as single leg hops, except the hops are both forward with a 2 to 4 foot wide lateral base. The feet and ankle positions are the same as single leg hops, except push off the inside of both ankles. The legs are also the same, except you should prepare for additional force on the outside of the legs when landing. The hips and torso position is the same as the single leg hops. The arms are also the same, except you should use the power arm on the side of the landing to move wide outside after it is driven backwards. The lead arm will move into a midline of the chest.
Drop downs.
Remember to step off the box, don't jump. Allow gravity to bring the body to the surface area. First, step off with either leg, then gather both ankles and land together in a parallel position, shoulder width apart. Absorb the landing shock by striking the ball of the foot and maintaining flexed ankles before landing. When the surface is contacted, allow the legs to absorb the body weight by flexing 3 to 6 inches. Do not allow a great contraction because of the time delay. The critical factor with depth drops is to limit the surface contact time. Maintain the hips directly over the ankles. The ankles will also absorb part of the downward body force. Remember to maintain an erect body with a flat back. During the downward drop, both arms are pulled behind the hips 12 to 16 inches. As contact with the surface begins, the ankles, legs, and hips are absorbing the downward movement. This factor is very important to reduce ground contact time.
Jump ups.
For this exercise, work onto boxes with heights predetermined to match the athlete's capabilities. Start with 0.2 to 0.4 meters. Begin this exercise by placing all weight on the balls of the feet. As the legs extend and gain maximum push-off by extension of the ankles. Next, quickly flex the ankles for the landing on the plyo box's surface. Preload the legs by flexing 4 to 6 inches before jumping. During the loading phase, maintain the hips directly over the ankles. Maintain a flat back, but allow the torso forward lean in relation to the distance the box is placed in front of the jumper. Start 12 inches away from lower boxes. As the boxes are raised in height, consideration must be given for extra torso lean. Use the double arm technique, pulling the arm back past the hips during the loading phase. Next, drive the arm forward and upwards before the legs are extended. The greater the height, the more forward the arms are driven before going upward. That's it for the intermediate plyometric exercises.